Gebra Michael was born in Ethiopia in Daibo in 1791. He was part of one of the three Ethiopian religious sects called the Kivats. He was educated in Daibo and then aged 12 began his high school studies in one of the monastic schools where he was known for his shrewd manner of learning. In his childhood, he lost one eye in an accident that in his culture would have rendered him unfit for most forms of work. He received an education and then began his studies in one of the monasteries where he became a gifted student. He became professed as a monk in 1813. He had not prepared for ordination in the Coptic Orthodox Church, and since monks did not become priests but he became fascinated instead with declining standards in monasteries and set out to find out what the causes were. His superiors helped facilitate his research and he was also allowed to travel across the nation visiting these monasteries and doing further research in their libraries. He also decided that these matters required further research and so decided to go to Jerusalem for additional studies. Dejazmatwebi, the Prince of Tigray, appointed him as a member of the delegation to Cairo to ask for a new bishop for Ethiopia, because of its jurisdictional link. For safety reasons, this delegation was accompanied by a Catholic priest, Justin de Jacobys, in September 1843. For accepting such a mission, Justin put the condition of bringing the delegates to Rome with him to pay respect to the Pope, Gregory XVI. After their meeting with Patriarch Petro, having completed the difficult mission of the request for the new bishop, the delegates were severely forbidden to go to Rome by the same patriarch under the pain of excommunication. Nevertheless, they got the courage to visit Rome in 1842 to observe the truth of the living faith of the Catholic Church. Gebra Michael discovered that the faith of the Catholic Church is in harmonious continuity with the ancient Ethiopian Church. The delegation returned to the Red Sea port of Massawa and he himself returned sometime later on his own as de Jacobys advised. The two would meet on a regular basis for the next 6 months and the two together visited monasteries before de Jacobys himself received him into Catholicism in February 1844. This led to 6 other Coptic monks asking for admission too after having seen his example. And on returning to Adwa, in February 1844, he asked Mgr Justin de Jacobys to receive him into the Catholic Church. At the age of 59, Gebra Michael was secretly ordained a priest on January 1, 1851 in the ruins of Alitnes Church. When he was set to enter the congregation of the mission as a postulant, he and de Jacobys were arrested with 4 others. De Jacobys was kept hidden from the others while their captors hoped extreme isolation and torture would cause them to abandon Catholicism. But de Jacobys was later released and in late 1854 the Orthodox bishop failed through torture to get him and the others to apostatize. Abba Gebra Michael was so viciously beaten that blood gushed out of his mouth soaking his whole body. Those who saw it quickly spread the rumor that he was dead. After surviving the beating, his feet and hands were chained tightly. In July 25, 1854, after he had been interviewed by Abuna Salama, his legs were placed inside the gend. In May 1855 the British consul visited the emperor and the latter decided to put the priest on trial in the consul's presence. But he refused to abandon his faith and the court deemed that he should be shot dead. But the consul asked for him to be spared and the emperor agreed, which left the priest back in chains and moved from place to place as the emperor traveled. He later died due to ill treatment on a road under a cedar tree. His remains were never found. Blessed Gebra Michael, the first fruit of African holiness, August 30th. On October 3, 1926, Pope Pius XI called the Pope of the Missions, Beatify Gebra Michael. De Jacobys later explained in a letter to the Order's Superior General Jean-Baptiste Chine that Gha copyright Bra Michael could be considered a member of the Order despite his having been a postulant. In his words, he belonged in his heart and in his spirit to the congregation.
Don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out, remember you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now, I'm gonna make you bleed out. Listen on repeat now and weed out all the weak now. Get up and make a change, don't remember yesterday. If you got something to say